Hi there and welcome to my video. Today I'm going to take you on a magical mixed media journey through using different supplies and papers and pens and paints, and it's going to be fun. So if you are following along and creating your own, just use what you have. Don't get too caught up in the supplies. Just kind of focus on what you can use that's already in your stash. So I am making a mixed media piece with a goal in mind. Last week, I did create something from a previous piece that I had. I made it into a greeting card. I will put that right up here so you can see it. And I am continuing on that path. I'm going to create this as another greeting card as I'm trying to make a little bit of a line so I can sell them. So you'll see the whole process. And right now, I'm just trying to fit together some jelly prints that I made on my jelly plate. There is a link in my description to my jelly print book if you're interested in that. Some of these prints are in there. And I'm just kind of playing with the shapes and figuring out where I want to put the colors. I did kind of have an idea that I wanted to use peaches and pinks for this one. But as you can see, some yellows are creeping in, brown, and we're just going to see where it goes. It doesn't have to be very specific in the beginning. Just want to get some basic foundation down so you can kind of set the stage. And remember, you can always put something on top of it, which is why I love acrylics so much. You can paint over and over until you feel like you like it. So I'm just kind of putting everything down with some satin medium. I like this satin medium because it doesn't go on too thick, but it's very good for keeping the papers down and not making them buckle. I do put a layer on top, and that prevents it from buckling a lot. But you want to kind of be generous without going overboard. So I'm just using an average paintbrush. It's basically a craft brush. I don't get too precious about my brushes because I go through them pretty quickly. So I buy those multi-packs of craft brushes, and they do the job. So here are some of the colors I'm going to be using. Cadmium orange, some raw umber, that's parchment, and flesh tone, and that other peachy color, it's a Naples yellow red by Amsterdam. So I'm just kind of putting them all down. I'm just kind of mixing them up. I wanted to get more of a variation of colors rather than just squeezing them right out of the tube. So just making some light colors, a little darker with the raw umber, which has a nice effect on colors. I'm just getting some color down on the paper. At this point, I had an idea to use a stencil as like a negative imprint. So that's what I'm doing, just removing some of the stencil. But I did not make it wet enough. So I'm just wetting it a little more and then pulling up the imprint. So that's something you could do as like a reverse imprint. Gives a different kind of stamp look. So I'm doing this again with that lighter pink, but I wanted to try the arrows. One of the fun things about doing these videos is just experimenting. And sometimes things work and sometimes they don't, but it's fun to try new things out. So I wet the sponge a little and I was trying to just pull up some of the paint, but it wasn't really working. So just moving the paint around. And in this first layer, I try not to get too crazy about it because I know I'm going to be adding many other layers. So if it doesn't work, I kind of often just remove it, blend, and move on. and see what else works. So I'm just adding a little bit more of an orangey contrast to the top with that brown, the raw umber added in. And I think as you fine-tune your style and paint more, create more, you kind of have a few go-tos with marks or just kind of symbols that you use. I do tend to use these bubble, kind of bubble shapes at the top. I'm not sure why. I just like the shape of it, and I feel like it gives a little border. I feel like it kind of grounds the piece for me. So just letting some of the color drip, one of my favorites to do. And at this point, I was thinking, maybe I shouldn't have done the drips so quickly because now I'm going to probably paint over them. But just kind of keep moving, you know? I just keep trying different areas of the piece, not getting too attached to them. So I wanted to accentuate this part of the paper a little more. This is the under paper that I put down initially, and it had this kind of cool stamp on it, or the pattern looking like a stamp. So now I'm looking for some papers I could add. These are deli papers that I made jelly prints on. So they're a little more transparent than just a regular piece of copy paper. And they're one of my favorite ways to add a layer to a piece without covering it all up. So you can kind of see through underneath to the paper, but you can also add a little dimension. So here's some more papers. And these were made with stencils on my jelly plate. I really love that color, that green. I think I used green gold for that one. That's a really beautiful color, and it mixes wonderfully with raw umber just to make a little bit more of an army green. So I think that's what I did for this one. And I think that's one of the beauties of mixed media for me is just using all the different supplies and also layering. I love layering things and just seeing how they work together. This is a little piece of a jelly print that I loved, and I just love the color in it, so I wanted to add that. Now here I am mixing fluorescent pink and parchment. I've been using parchment a lot lately because it's just a little less jarring than titanium white, but it does lighten the color nicely. So I'm using a foam brush. I wanted to see if this would work, kind of pushing the paint through the stencil. But this is a very small stencil as far as surface area to get through. So it wasn't really working that great. So I just went back to using a regular paintbrush. I'm just kind of not using a ton of paint and pushing it through. Because if you use a lot of paint, it'll get gloppy underneath and then you won't see any of the actual lines of the stencil. I really like this pink color. So when I add a different color than what I've been using, I try to kind of incorporate it just in different areas of the piece so it doesn't look so unique in one area. Kind of harmonizes and brings it together a little better. So I'm just adding it in little areas around. And this is another jelly print, and it has orange X's, but has a little fluorescent, light fluorescent hue on it as well. It's like a little bit of a, I don't know what you'd call it, like a shadow of it. And then I'm just incorporating a little more of the pink so it doesn't look like it's sitting on top of that paper. And this is just another one that has kind of green X's. I think that's green gold that I used. So I'm just adding accents to kind of make it interesting, help the eye move around the paper and think about, what is the end goal for me? I know that I'm going to put something in the middle, which is this. It is a camellia flower, or camellia. And I know that I had to kind of lighten this area right here because you could see through too much on the flower. Just wouldn't work. So I just put a little parchment on it and around the other areas that might be a little too dark. Because this flower is so light, I really wanted it to show through. So I'm putting it down with the satin medium, and I did not put anything on top of it when I printed it. I printed it on my inkjet printer. So I knew that the ink would run if I played with it for too long. So I just kind of put it down fast and let it dry. So this is the white Posca paint pen. One of my favorite tools to add marks are the paint pens. They're just really versatile and so easy to use, and it just adds a lot of character and fun marks for the end. And at this point, if you are following along and making your own, I would really encourage you to try to figure out some marks that feel good to you, your style and what you like. It's easy to copy people, but what really makes you feel connected to your art? I know these little marks kind of make me get very excited about finishing a piece. This is actually just a little leaf that was in the paper that I'm tracing. I just wanted to bring it out a little more. So all these little marks are just kind of to keep the eye moving and also draw interest to certain spots that I think are interesting. So as I'm making this, I'm keeping in mind that I'm probably going to put a sentiment on top of the flower. So I'm not filling that space too much because I want to have an area to put script or, just a saying or something. Thinking maybe a thank you card. So this pen is actually, I traded out the titanium white for, this is an off-white, because the flower had a little bit of a, I don't know, like a golden hue, and I felt like white would be too much on it. And it was a good move because it did kind of bring the flower out, but it also blended in with the actual original color of it. I was a little hesitant to do this at first because I was like, oh, I just like the flower. I don't want to mess it up. But you have to take a risk when you're doing your art, right? Try things out, see if they work. And this one actually worked out. Just kind of brought the flower out in a nice way without overpowering the piece. And this is a gold Signo pen. These are amazing pens to add accents with. I have the gold and the silver and the white. And the gold and the silver work better than the white. I'm not sure why, but they're just really nice pens to add just a little shimmer without it being overpowering, because it has a really nice, fine, I'd say it's a medium tip. It's not fine, but it's a nice way to add a little dazzle. So that is the finished piece right here. You can see all the nooks and crannies and details up close. I hope you had fun following along today. I really appreciate you being here. I am going to put some more videos right here just like this that might interest you. And I hope to see you again soon.